Before I roll the video, I gotta say sorry for the wacky microphone audio. I've been moving around rooms and I'm just trying to figure out the best settings and placement for my microphone, so bear with me. Now for the main event of today's video. I didn't just see an awesome Scourge mod on the front page and say, hey, I gotta make a Scourge video. I also knew that it would perfectly fit with the green chevron zone, which is a brand new custom level from the Sonic hacking contest. The entire theme of this level is green, and ironically, even though we're playing a green character, the reflections on her are red, which I actually think fits really well when you consider how violent and evil she actually is. Now, the cool thing about this mod is that they actually went the extra mile to go ahead and change up some of the controls as well to feel a little bit more efficient in cyberspace, which I really appreciate. And another thing that you'll notice right off the bat is this has so many open areas like a traditional 3D platforming game would. It isn't just a hallway that you're gonna run down, like there's these sections right here where you're at a literal different vantage point. Oh, there we go. Sexy save. There's these cannons shooting off of the walls, which is one of my absolute favorite gimmicks in all of Final Horizon. And there's like the enemies sitting in all these open spaces to greet you once you finally land. And you actually have to keep on your toes because, yep, they're gonna smack you around, man. But like, I just love how open this area is, and it gives you so many options too, with like the ramp up here on this path. You just spin dash around there. I really love like the switch that opens that pathway to the ramp, and then you boost off, and then it has like the physics that shoot you off into a different pathway. Wow, this area is really impressive actually. You perfectly land on this little lip here if you fall down there and get forced to homing attack the cannon. There's this very specific moving yellow platform here that kind of trip you up when you want to go fast on this level and get a good time. Like, ow, wow, really good use of the moving platforms. I've never really seen that in a 3D level. I've seen people try that plenty in their actual 2D perspective levels, but that's awesome. A lot of people really like using these spinning spike balls in their sections. I can confirm right off the bat that this mod does a really good job at actually letting you run in a full 360, because in cyberspace there's literally an infamous level where you can't particularly move around too well, even though the whole gimmick is that you're supposed to be boosting along a highway and everything. There's so many pathways, and they definitely account for me like spin dashing up all of those areas. Oh wow, that's really cool. Well, there's just a random chopper just flying there? Okay. Oh, another open pathway? I appreciate it, but I'm kind of interested in this wall running pathway. That's so sick, man. You can just immediately transition your regular run onto the wall, like I'm playing Sonic Dream Team or something. Is that a red ring? Oh, that is a red ring. You know we're gonna take that. Oh, I think you just run? Yeah, and then it naturally transitions, and the camera follows behind you basically perfectly, huh? Man, I actually feel like I'm exploring a 3D space like you would in a game like Sonic Dream Team, as opposed to, again, just running forward. I've already played 5 minutes of this whole level, and I have seen very few of the possible pathways, I am sure. There we go. I had to do, like, classic parkouring just to get around. Wait, is this a brand new pathway? Oh wow, there's so many different rail pathways that I keep thinking it's one big one. Oh, that's so cool. The way that they use a little open area like this to have the rocket egg robos that actually, you know, shoot missiles around you. Wow, this is like really reliant on your ability to dodge obstacles. Whoa, that was so cool. The way that they placed one of those spike balls right before a ramp, so it's like you can dodge that spike ball and then get shot up a ramp. You're actually pressured to move. I'm interested to just see every little different path, especially at the beginning. Feels like there's so much possibility. Like, even just the way that they utilize slopes in this feels awesome. Like, running down a slope, hitting the springs. There's a group of enemies to take out right around here. Like, my movement feels like I'm actually ripping up the area instead of just casually avoiding enemies that spawn in my pathway. I don't think I went through this pathway. Whoa, okay, we got another wall running segment, man. Seriously, like, one of the things that they said they were inspired by in Sonic Dream Team was, like, Tony Hawk games, and that's why they put so many of those wall running segments and half pipes and ramps in Sonic Dream Team, and it's really cool to see it in the Frontiers engine in its own way. That's awesome. Ow. Awesome enemy placement, the way that they have choppers coming out of kind of like this upper zone here. So you can use them as momentum tools if you're like screwing around and flinging yourself off of ramps. Okay, I really want to see if I can grab this ring. Yes! That's what it looks like when you do it the intended way. That was so sick, the way that I positioned myself right where the red ring was, and I instantly got flipped right up onto the top of the level. Wow. I think I missed that red ring last time. I don't know, it's like I could just keep running forward, right? But this completely incentivizes me to like explore and like walk around in like a 360 perspective and everything too. Also, having actual damage on your boost is so fun in this kind of level where you're actually facing off against hordes and hordes of enemies. Damn, dude. I always say it, but like, in games like Generations, like, you have the car controls, like, you're pretty stiff, you have to just kind of move forward, but even though the movement in Frontiers isn't the best it can be for a Sonic game, whoa, buddy, they still have so much going on when it comes to the level of control the characters have. And when you start factoring in their special abilities with the physics, like this level mod having very slight like physics adjustments for the level to play as smooth as possible, then the level design and exploration is going to feel so much cooler when you have physics that are centered around movement and are centered around actually skipping the things that are built into the levels intentionally. Oh wow, like I don't even think I've been to this section. Yeah, dude, and like they got the proper moving platforms and everything to help you get around. I guess this is just like a ledge with extra rings. Oh yeah, and that's another way to access this zone here. Big fan, big fan. Yeah, instead of wall running there, you can just use the ramp to shoot yourself all the way up here. Oh, this is interesting. Is there like a switch for me to access that path? Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! In a custom level. Not an official one. That was puzzle platforming. It actually incentivized you to stay slow for a second to get a better shot at the goal. I'm using that in the speedrun. There's something really cool too about like actually going through all, like running around all these slopes like a classic game and having the classic Surge running animation all the while. It's a really interesting aesthetic they have going on here with all like the red cyberspace skybox contrasting all the green. Like the red reflections are so aggressive in this level, and like I said, it especially looks cool on someone like Surge. God, I love that these extra pathways are genuinely helpful for me figuring out like what's the most efficient pathway and everything too. And yeah, not to mention, you have access to all of the Frontier speedrunning tech that exists, so you can very easily use all of these homing attackable objects to just mag dash off of everything. I think that's part of the beauty of this game, especially in the modding scene. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, perfect aim. But like, that's part of the beauty, right? Is like you can combine the mods, you can combine the movement tech, and it becomes a platformer unlike any other on the market right now. Wow, it's crazy. There were a lot of custom levels that came out during the Sonic Hacking Contest this year, and this one, like, the other ones are whole level packs where it's like worlds of levels, but I'm gonna be honest, this one might be the most memorable to me just based on how experimental this kind of level design is. Like, yes, you can skip so much of this stuff, but I don't necessarily know if that makes it worse. Because like the Final Horizon level design really played into that on its own. God, I actually love the swarm of enemies in this level because it really feels like a challenge instead of just fodder that you run into or homing attack into. You're actually feeling the weight of Eggman's forces. Which again is why I said like I need to see Super Badniks make an appearance or something in the actual gameplay of these games and like Sonic Heroes and stuff. Another advancement that I've been seeing a lot lately with custom level modding is that people have started incorporating a lot of like custom camera angles. So think about it, a level with this much option combined with custom camera angles could be so sick. It's also really interesting going through all of the different connecting paths and seeing just how everything connects to each other, because I never realized that the area that some of these paths lead to are these sections that I recognize. I also like that pretty much all the slopes have accounted for exactly where you're gonna go with your spin dash, because the spin dash is really overtuned in this game. So I'm glad that a developer actually accounted for just how strong that is. I love so much that there's these little zones where you have to like dodge all these projectiles from the enemies, and you're actually incentivized to kill them so you can survive. Ooh, I dodged and jump balled into the Motobug. Can I hit the chopper? Yes! Oh, dude! This is Sonic at its core. This is why we replay the game. Sometimes you want to get a good time, but sometimes you just want to look cool, man. Yo, that was perfect momentum. Got exactly where I needed to go. There's a lot of games out there where you can run on walls and everything, but there aren't very many games out there where you can fling yourself off of slopes. And then combining the two with a character like Sonic, that's a recipe for serotonin, man. Now, I don't necessarily think that Pizza Tower's wacky high-paced music is necessarily a Sonic tune, but I can definitely see it for Scourge, man. Just the aura of like a feral not giving a shit. Like, Scourge and the Noise have very similar energy in that if you put your hand anywhere near them, they will be bit clean off. Yo, hold on? Hold on? Am I a genius? Now. No way. Wait, I'm actually a genius for that one. Yep, that's a clean ass S rank right there, baby. Damn! See, that's why we need wall running mechanics to seamlessly integrate into the regular platforming. Wall running mechanics can turn into slope mechanics at a snap of a finger. Now that I've obtained my S rank that I've been absolutely slaving over, I think it's time for a little bit of a change. You clicked the video, you knew this guy was gonna be in, and how poetic that there is this red glow on the both of them. They've both got blood on their hands after all. Something looks really cool about Scourge just sitting at this angle with his quills blowing in the wind as there's a bunch of enemies in the distance for him to take down. And that's another cool thing. The Rio Sonic mod, which is what we're using for this Scourge mod, it doesn't actually have a green jump ball for Scourge. The hue of his jump ball is a little bit darker green compared to Scourge, who has kind of a more yellow green. Hers is a bit brighter. So these are entirely different green jump balls, and his is also pretty bright, which is funny. I actually borrowed this jump ball from the only other Scourge mod that exists on Game Banana, which is done by David, and I thought that it was a perfect pairing. Now, one of the many reasons that I love this Scourge mod is because he actually has the Anarchy Barrel crown just on his design permanently. He's got a really good scar that's almost popping off of his skin here too. So I thought, hey, you know what? If I'm giving Scourge some attention, I might as well give her older brother some attention as well. It's very fitting for a green zone, no? That would have been so cool if he didn't get hit. Now, another thing that I'm a big fan of is I have Mello's Reanimated Frontiers on this skin pack for Rio Sonic, which now means that Scourge has completely different animations than Scourge. It's like they truly are completely separate characters, the way that their personalities are differently displayed. Now, I really love this path here, dude. I just love the idea of forcing you to hit a switch at the right time so that you can open up a pathway to a ramp. Like, I particularly love the fact that this animation pack has the 06 spring animation for Scourge. The way that he's just, like, got his fists to his side, he's looking up, it's like he's powering up or something. Ooh, wow, that was awesome. I love that when you regularly jump ball into the cannonballs, it, like, deflects them perfectly back at the enemy. But that looked so sick with how slow everyone was going in that section. And that's so sick too, because like you can see Scourge hit the Sonic Adventure pose and all of that good stuff right there. Damn, bro, that stomp animation looks so good with Scourge's combat boots. And just like that, we get to finish the level with one of the coolest poses I've seen on a Scourge model. Just look at the absolute playground around us. The aesthetics in this level do remind me of another level that I saw in development from a different person. I actually briefly covered it on the channel. There are a bunch of Gameland levels that are being developed for cyberspace that basically use all of the aesthetics from Gameland with completely original level layouts. Obviously, this level seems to be using a very similar set of assets compared to Gameland from Sonic Colors. I find it really funny how, like, both of these level mods use a similar aesthetic and have very experimental gameplay styles. Like, the other level that I'm thinking of also has built-in wall running mechanics, where I assume they're kind of just using the climbable walls in the open zone and using them as a cyberspace asset. And I think we're gonna try for a different pathway this time as well, as best as I can, anywho. I just love how natural it is to hold forward and boost down these slopes. It feels like a classic Sonic game. It feels like that similar kind of philosophy. Completely skip that area. Perfect. I'm gonna wall run over here, like so. And we are going to use that to our advantage. And just like that, another flawless run from one of the green ghouls. That was so satisfying. I chained like 2 routes I didn't know with some vague speedrunning tech that I figured out on my own. Oh, I love brand new levels in this game. And just like that, we banged out a few more character mods. I actually didn't think that we'd have so many more to play with so soon, but here we are. Of course, just like always, every mod played today will be down in the description. Please support the creators directly, give them some likes on Game Banana. And I'm curious, let me know in the comment section, who do you like more between Surge and Scourge? Because I personally think that Surge is better written as a character, has better motivations and everything, but I really just love the doppelganger aesthetic of Scourge, and I think he was better at being an ass to Sonic. Like, he was a lot more hateable, whereas Surge, you kind of just feel bad for her a lot of the time. And if you're new here, please consider checking out the Sonic modding playlist, as that's what I usually do in between big game releases. You know I'm excited for Shadow Generations.